Peace, family, and welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Radio. This is your host, Brother Rich, and I'm joined by Serious Minds Radio's creator, Professor Griff. Welcome to the show, brother.
Oh, give thanks. It's a pleasure to be back after traveling through Pittsburgh through the snow. I was speaking at Robert Morris University. Shout out to the brothers and sisters at Robert Morris University and College LRK from the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. Definitely put it down the other night.
You probably done been to every state in this country by now, huh?
Except the Dakotas of this. I think South Dakota is the only place I haven't been. I've been to every state in the United States except South Dakota. So I'm going to go to South Dakota. For what? I don't know. Native American reservation or something, but I'm going to go.
That's living, man. When you can say you done traveled many places, man, that's something I definitely want to do in the future, man. So that's definitely an inspiration in itself, man. But let's get to the show, Professor Griff. Last week we had a show on the singer Beyonce's performance at the Super Bowl. Many said termed it pro-blackish. It was very pro-black. It was very, black power-ish, all these words that they use. We always deal with images in the media. Like I said, I talked to Blue Pill yesterday. One of the main purposes of the show I have, the show you have, and many other shows is because our image is misrepresented in mainstream media. So we have to form our own platforms to give our own image, tell our own story, because our story isn't be told properly. A lot of people have been happy lately because they feel as though our story is being told a little bit more in mainstream media. You have the Black Panthers documentary that just came out, Vanguards of the Revolution. You got we had a show with Jada Pinkett Smith speaking out on the whole Oscar thing. You had a Beyonce performance. A lot of people are talking about last Sunday Kendrick Lamar's Grammy performance, which some people are saying was one of the best performances they ever seen. So I want to talk to you about that and just about this idea of this 2016 idea of what Black Power is or Black Pride is. But to start out with, what did you do? I guess it's a double question. What did you think about Kendrick Lamar's Grammy performance, and why do you think it had much more of black people received it more than Beyonce's performance? I heard more positive feedback about his performance than I've heard about Beyonce's performance.
Well, let me answer the first question first. The simple fact that the day and time and the particular political climate under and in which these artists are performing, especially Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has been consistently growing into the person that we're now seeing. So it's not haphazardly or that this happened just by a fluke or just by chance or this is a fad or something. You understand what I'm saying? Right. You can see the brother's growth. So to answer that first question is very organic, so to speak, to see Kendrick Lamar's growth. And we have to take our hats off to the brother. We've mentioned him several times during these interviews over the years. So you can go back and listen to these interviews. We've mentioned him, and you can actually see his growth. The generation that he's speaking to is going to take a lot more to convince them, so to speak. But he has the internet. You understand? Unlike the Public Enemy generation growing up, it took us speaking louder, in your face, with noise, carrying guns on stage. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I think the first thing that Kendrick Lamar has to do and has to do well, in which he does very, 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 very well, is spit lyrics and write lyrics that mean something. You understand what I'm saying? It's not gimmicks with him. It's not just the dancers, the fire, and all that kind of stuff. If you stripped all that away, Kendrick Lamar can put it down. Second part of your question, Kendrick Lamar won't face the backlash that Beyonce space because the socially conscious art and artistry that Beyonce exemplified, the sexual expression that Beyonce exemplified, the whole idea of standing up as a black woman doing African dances and tribal dances, dressed the way she was dressed, obviously paying homage to not only the Black Panther Party, but there was revolutionary at that particular time that dressed just like the Black Panther Party. You know, and the BLA and other organizations, Republic of New Africa and other organizations. So when she made the move to take her hat off and give tribute not only to the Black Panther Party and Malcolm X, but because she's a black woman, it garnished more attention. But because Beyonce has done all kind of crazy and love stuff prior to that, with the blonde hair and all this other kind of stuff she's doing, attached and married to Jay-Z, which they had a lot of symbology in their videos. It almost seemed like they was the antithesis of being the Illuminati's puppet and didn't mind being the Illuminati's puppet. To turn around and do what she did, it was mind-numbing to some black people and definitely mind-altering and disturbing to a whole lot of whites, to the point where they said she had an angry, pro-blackish protest and called for the killing of cops. I'm like, come the hell on, white people. So, yeah. So because she's a woman and because of her history, this is why it was a lot more shocking. And, you know, it's no accident because of her high profile and some of the things that she's done in the past, the reason why Beyonce's performance was slammed by skeptics and critics.
You know, when you see the way the youth goes about doing things and the way the entertainers may go about doing things and the way me and you may go about doing things on the radio, people like to make comparisons. So, just for example, something Beyonce may have done or Kendrick may have done on stage, they may look to the 60s and 70s and say, well, you know, the Black Panthers wouldn't have done it like that, or so-and-so wouldn't have, Muhammad Ali wouldn't have done it like that, or whoever was outspoken during that era. And, you know, and when you watch basketball, I'm going to use basketball as an analogy. When you watch basketball sometimes and you try to compare Jordan to a player from, let's say, the 50s or something like that, or you try to compare Shaq to a Wilt Chamberlain, the first thing somebody might say is, you know, you can't compare eras. It was two different, totally different time periods, so it's real hard to compare eras. Do you feel as though it's the same way in terms of the approach somebody in 2016 who is outspoken about social injustice may have versus the way somebody from 1950? Because somebody from 2016 may do something that somebody from 1950 would have totally disagreed with in 1950, but it's 2016 now. So they're saying the circumstances are totally different. So we may see the way Beyonce danced, or the way Kendrick may be in a Snoop video and Snoop is smoking weed and Kendrick is beside him or whatever. Do you think it kind of takes away from what the person is doing by trying to compare them to somebody from a whole different era?
Yes, it does, Brother Rich, and it hurts both the artist, and it probably skews the person watching and listening, simply because it's almost like it's a contradiction that, and to young people it may not be a contradiction at all. It just may be the flip side of what we know and understand as being all is mental. Young people may look at that as like, all is mental. Okay, so this is what goes on in the hood. People be smoking weed. Okay, that next dude like Kendrick Lamar that's going to be spitting some positive stuff need to know what it understands. Need to know and understand what it's like to live that kind of life. You understand what I'm saying? So they're quote-unquote keeping it real. Our idea of keeping it real is totally different. You mentioned the 1950s. And you gave the analogy of basketball. Hell, back then, they was wearing shorts, man, on the basketball court. Now, they got some Allen Iverson shit going on. Back in the day, they wasn't crossing over on that kind of stuff. They didn't have social media. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have highlight films, reels that you could put on social media, in 2 days. Man, that shit took months for the editors to put that kind of stuff together. So it's vastly different, but yet it's the same. The whole idea of Kendrick Lamar doing it the way Kendrick Lamar is doing it in his time with what he has available to him. If you took a Kendrick Lamar and put him in the 60s, he probably wouldn't survive. Because the whole idea of being in an organization is a lot different than Kendrick Lamar answering the question, what set you claiming? And it's vastly different. It's vastly different when you have to rely on the 5 or 6 networks that were out at the time that would have halfway promoted you for the few minutes they would have, as opposed to now, you get 24-hour play, man, with Brother Rich on Underground Railroad, or Professor Griff on Serious Minds, or YouTube, somebody's YouTube channel, or your own, or Facebook. You ain't got to wait on the networks anymore. That's a very real dynamic. And looking at that and facing that particular dynamic, Beyonce could release a song that could impact the world, especially the Super Bowl, at any given time. So can any other artist. Back in the day, you had to wait. You had to get on a schedule, wait for the record company to put it out, give you a release date, contact the video companies that will, and the video stations that will play it, hit them off under the table. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's vastly different, but yet the same. We didn't have access to what Kendrick Lamar has access to. And plus, Chuck D said, who gives a fuck about a goddamn Grammy? After saying that, we got to stick to that.
Right, right. Yeah.
Not that they didn't come and want to give us one, and we just had to stick to our guns. The Kendrick Lamars of the world used the fact that he got a few Grammys and then did the performances and then made a political statement by saying he's doing it for all the cats in Compton. And thanks for the brothers that kicked down the door, like Nas, Dre, NWA, Public Enemy, other people that kicked down the door so that he can perform at the Grammy to let people know that a young brother from Compton can make it.
One thing I've noticed, just reading the blogs and searching the internet, is that it seems as though, I even noticed this with the talks that I have with you, because we deal with the issue of white supremacy or white genetic annihilation, the teachings of Francis Wilson. And I noticed that a lot of the blogs, a lot of the forums, a lot of the conspiracy theorists feel as though whenever they hear anything remotely close to black power, black pride, I love my black people, they feel as though it's an attempt for the elite. If it's on mainstream media, if they see it now, they feel as though it's an attempt for the elite to start a race war. So it's almost like you're not even allowed to say anything pro-black right now without being accused of trying to trigger a race war, and being supported and funded by the elite. What do you think about this ideology flowing out there that anything pro-black right now is being used to start a race war?
Well, that's always been American. Anytime, they said that with Public Enemy. They called us anti-white. And we said, no, we're not anti-white. We're just pro-black. And anytime that you break from the script of being their nigger, anytime you break from the script of being their Negro, being their controlled coon, being their tool, anytime you say anything out of line, they will begin to stick their lapdogs on you, be the lapdog, be black, white, Asian, or otherwise, to pull you back in line and to keep you in check. This is why you have the Kendrick Lamars that come up and write as freely as they do. Who would ever come up and be so expressive to say he gonna pimp his butterfly? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
White people people heard that and looked at that, oh, okay, wow, it's very artistic, that's very clever. But when Kendrick Lamar started to break it down, and people started grabbing quotes off of his music and from his interviews, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. This may backfire on us like the Public Enemy thing backfired on us. We could never let that happen again. So like it is with Public Enemy, Beyonce probably opened proverbial Pandora's box, and now let other artists know in a very subtle kind of, you could do it too kind of way, let other artists know, look, this may be the thing. This may be that new thing, being conscious and controversial and pro-black and a whole bunch of other things. You understand what I'm saying? They may go from wearing the blonde weaves and wigs to the afros. You understand what I'm saying? I think Beyonce done started something. You understand what I'm saying? And Kendrick Lamar coming back after that, it was almost like the 1-2 punch. So when they borrow and lift Kendrick Lamar's words in his quotes from his interviews, it's like, wow, this thing may catch on, and white people, black artists now, even on the level that they're doing it, and it's not to be judged by us, do have white people's attention. When they lift quotes from Kendrick Lamar and say, Kendrick Lamar said, build your own pyramids and write your own hieroglyphics. Your hieroglyphs. That's powerful, man, in this day and age, Brother Rich. That may not have been so powerful when you and I were coming up, but today, that on a meme or a T-shirt or a bumper sticker, woo! Kendrick Lamar said, we love people that hurt us, and then we hurt the people that love us. It's making the average person think, man. It's making the average person, before they put the L or the blunt back to their mouth, they're like, wait a minute, y'all, that shit was safe. You understand what I'm saying? Even though they're getting as high as they're getting, it's something for them to think about. And I think Kendrick Lamar know exactly what he's doing. LL Cool J, as you read some of the stuff that's floating around on the internet, LL Cool J pre-warned them that Kendrick Lamar is about to say and do something that may set this thing on fire tonight. He couldn't do it because he did the accidental racism. Remember that song? R.I.P. to Robert E. Lee, I got to thank Abraham Lincoln for freeing me. That's LL Cool J. That shit was weak.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Common said something stupid. That was weak. Bill Cosby, Raven Simone, and the rest of these clowns that came, they came real weak. Beyonce fired off, and then Kendrick Lamar came back and hit him upside the head. He says, I'd rather not live like there isn't a God than die and find out that there really is one. Shit, he can think about that.
Yeah.
When young people are lifting these quotes and making these memes and putting this stuff out there, it's really something to think about, Brother Rich.
Now, Professor Griff, we got just recently, let's just going through the last 2-3 months, the Kendrick performance, the Beyonce performance, the Oscar So White controversy, and other things. And I'm just focused on the media right now because all eyes are on the media and the mainstream, and the people have their attention glued to it, and it's influencing the actions of people globally. So just dealing with that for now. Do you think what has been going on in the media lately with the three things I just mentioned, the Kendrick, the Beyonce, the Oscars, the Jada Pinkett's, and all of this, all of this stuff going on, is that making Donald Trump more appealing to white people, you think? Do you think this is the only reason why? Because it seems like a circus show. But why is this circus show still going on? Is that... Go ahead, Professor.
No. You're absolutely correct. It's creating this dichotomy, so to speak. And it's almost like, because this is happening with Kendrick Lamar organically, and this happened with Beyonce because a PR person made a strategic move. Somebody got together with Beyonce and put a song together. The video was ill. You understand? The performance was outstanding, energetic. She took advantage of all of that. And now, I think black people unknowingly have upped the ante and start to begin to play chess. Unknowingly. And now, Beyonce, the white Oscars, we fired away Jada Pinkett. You understand what I'm saying? Then the white people made their move to try to fire back. And then Beyonce hit him with that thing. Then Kendrick Lamar hit him. Now, Donald Trump at the same time is lighting the fire up under some of these controlled, paid-for politicians who can't wait to get in office to do exactly and say exactly what Donald Trump is saying before he gets in office. So you're absolutely right, Brother Rich. The average white person now is seeing what's happening and is saying, whoa, wait a minute, we can't let this black thing go too far now. And this ties right into what Dr. Frances Cress Welsing said when she talked about fear of genetic annihilation. They see it's on a subconscious level. Subconsciously, they're saying, well, if this thing is pro-black again, we may start to see red, black, and green flags and African dancing and tribal markings on people's faces and fire in the background and this kind of stuff in everybody's video. So much so, what they really fear is the fact that Beyonce came on stage with Coldplay. And she came on stage with Bruno Mars, who's not political at all. Will she affect them? Because when we look at her performance, we look straight past Coldplay. They was irrelevant after a minute. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
After Bruno Mars and Beyonce lit that stage up on that field, it's like Coldplay. Who? Oh, that's right. Coldplay. Okay, cool. Yeah, we remember them. We got you. Okay, so now Kendrick Lamar done set the bar so high, and it's so critical. What white folks are thinking now is, okay, who is going to be next? We had the Negroes. You remember the movie Gone with the Wind? Oh,
yeah.
It's the Bangers. You understand what I'm saying? We had the Negroes. We had them selling out one after the other. Raven Simone, Common, Kanye backpedaling, marrying the jump off, and all that kind of madness was going on. And black people was like, damn, can any of the artists say anything? And then an unlikely song smacked them upside the back of their head. Beyonce hit them, and then Kendrick Lamar followed up, and now white people are shook. White people are shook. Brother Rich, they were successfully mimicking us. Culture Bandits was on it, man. Stole our dance, our song, our swag, everything. Movies was coming out with them stealing our frequency. Now, woo, it's hard to match that. Kendrick Lamar being wrapped in chains, coming up out of prison, man, and you understand what I'm saying? Being free. It's like, whoa, that sent a signal to those other wise, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I want to see the J. Cole's and the rest of these cats step up to the plate. I ain't calling J. Cole out or anybody, but I'm just saying, okay, come on now, Kendrick Lamar, where's Wiz Khalifa and the rest of these cats, man? Where's Kendrick Lamar done raised the bar. Y'all step up to the plate, man, and make it happen.
He definitely did. Now, what do you think? I seen somebody wrote on the internet. I seen one time. They said that one of the reasons, I heard it before, but it just made me think of the question when I seen it on the internet. Somebody wrote something along the lines of one of the main reasons that this what they call the resurgence of Black pride is bothering so many people in the media and in white homes all across America. Is they associate when they hear or think about Black pride, they think about revenge. They think about what they have done to us for so many years, for centuries, and the only thing they could think about is that we want revenge on them. Do you think that's the case, Professor Griff, that one of the first things they think about is that Black people might possibly want revenge against us for everything that we've done?
Well, it's white guilt, and deep down in the psyche, in the subconscious mind of especially the older whites, the ones that can't identify with anything that we've ever done, they fear. But you see, that's the fear of white genetic annihilation.
Right, same thing. Okay.
What Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was talking about.
Right.
The fear of the fact that we might go and intermingle and everybody get along and we love them right on out of existence. This is what they fear. Or we do the flip side of that. And we just hate them to the point where, okay, you understand that one of us could take on 10 of them because we ain't got no fear. Once you rile up the black man, oh, it's on and popping, man. You understand? This is why when you watch the news and some of this footage, they got to shoot us while we're unarmed. Or it takes 20 of them to come get one of us. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this lays at the base of the brain of the average white person in America. This is how come it's almost overkill when they come to deal with us. It's almost overkill. So you have to look at this on a subconscious level, Brother Richard, what white people are not only feeling, but what they're thinking. And as we grow and as they discover that they really have no culture except for the murder, death, and theft and rape of everybody on the planet and their natural resources, white people really don't have no culture. They wait on black people to see what we do. If you really watch them and study how they get down, and this is a very real dynamic when you look at it. So we have to be mindful of the white problem in America, because truly the white problem in America is actually the white man. It has absolutely nothing to do with black people. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to say it again like I said it on the last show and like I said it at the lecture the other day at Robert Morris University in Pittsburgh. I said I don't want black people saying a goddamn word to me on that long-ass ride back to Africa if Donald Trump becomes president. That's what it's going to be. What makes us think if he's talking about building a damn wall to separate us from our Mexican cousins that he won't ship our asses back? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He'll call all the preachers and the Uncle Toms, just like they did in that in the Space Invaders. Remember?
Yeah.
Space Traders. Remember the Space Traders when the Martians and they came down and they wanted everybody with melanin?
Mm-hmm.
Black people were giving up family members, man.
Crazy, man.
No, but I just want to say this, man. Emil Cabral, he said any action, regardless of its motives, is sterile unless it produces practical and concrete results. Unknowingly, Beyonce created some practical and concrete results in the minds of those young people that would never listen to Brother Rich and Professor Griff on Underground Railroad or Serious Minds Radio. They're not checking for us like that. But now their conscience has been pricked, a flame has been lit under them, and now they feel responsible to go and find out, well, what are all this black stuff talking about? Beyonce said, what? She did who? She had Martin and did an X and Martin on the front cover of the Final Call. What's the Final Call? And, okay, so, and Kendrick Lamar did what? Young people now are like asking questions, Brother Rich. They're asking questions now. And we better get out there and our shit together. Me, you, the pills, everybody on the conscious front. Because now young people are coming to ask the questions, and we better have the right answers, man, for real. Because they're going to hold us accountable, man. They're going to hold us accountable. And there's nobody that's going to sit on the sidelines in this thing, man. Because white people are going to start asking their black friends, excuse me, Leroy, do you agree with Beyonce? This guy, Kendrick Lamar, do you side with him? You understand what I'm saying? White people are going to start asking their black friends. The white black people, the white people that act like they black, they're going to start challenging some of their white friends. You understand what I'm saying? It's very real. And I'm going to sum this up by saying this. Isn't it beautiful, Brother Rich, that it's cold as shit outside, man, some of the places I've been, and all of this is going down in February. They thought they was going to freeze our ass out of our own knowledge, but, man, we bring it. We warm in February up like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you sure are. I want to ask you the same question. You brought the pills. Before I forget, I want to ask you the same question I asked Blue Pill yesterday, and that is, do you think it's possible, because I've talked with you in the past, previous shows about, this increase of biracial relationships, all this biracial agenda on TV, the black and white, marriage thing and having babies and having all these biracial babies. Do you think it's possible? And when a person who calls himself conscious sees a brother or sees a sister with a white person, they automatically cross them off the conscious list. Like, man, another one down. Damn, man, you couldn't get a sister, brother, or a sister, you couldn't get a brother. Damn, man.
So my question to you, Professor Griff, just hearing how Kanye talks sometimes, and not just Kanye, but people I know personally, but seeing certain things Kanye has said in the last week about criticizing the white media, saying they can't understand black music. Do you think it's possible to be what some may call a revolutionary or have black pride and have a white woman or have a white man at the same time? Can I be proud of my race, love myself, love the black woman, but at the same time, Professor Griff, I go to bed each night with a white woman? Do you consider that? Is that possible to you?
No, it's not possible. That's a direct contradiction. That dynamic that go on in the context of a family unit, in which in most cases now for black people, a survival unit, it's purely selfish. You're thinking nothing of your race, your nation, or your people, or even yourself when you got to choose a white woman over a black woman, and you lay down with this woman every single night simply because it stunts your spiritual growth. Because out of all the reasons we've mentioned throughout the few years that we've been on this journey we're on, trying to get the information out to the people via underground railroads, we speak, and when we speak, this speaks this particular consciousness into existence, and we keep it in existence by our consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? So to turn around now and dilute the conscious frequency and vibe by mixing my blood with a white woman, there's certain things that those brothers and sisters, they don't even talk about and will not talk about because they feel that they'll be offensive to their white counterpart. And I'm going to tell you straight up, Brother Rich, the universe doesn't speak English. The divine intelligence don't speak English. It speaks in frequency, right or wrong. You know that.
Right, yeah, that's facts.
So what vibration are you putting out when you will turn around a conscious black man and drop your black seed into a toxic white womb? Come on, man. Talk to me, Brother Rick. I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to go into the Brown Germ Manifesto, but I'm saying, what kind of product are you going to produce? So when we start talking about the black and the brown germ, we can get off into that, but I'm talking about the present day brother who claimed to be conscious, who will look past that black, beautiful, voluptuous, dark, black, melanated skin and vibration and frequency and all that the black woman is bringing. And you pick a pale-faced, skinny, 6 o'clock, straight up and down, kind of lifeless thing. Please stop that, man. Stop. No, Brother Rich, I think not. It's a direct contradiction. As a matter of fact, them kind of individuals are not conscious. How conscious are you if the mate that you're going to choose, Brother Rich, was absolutely nothing like your mama? Stop that. Come on, man. No. But I noticed, Brother Rich, they got a movie coming out about Jesse Owens. Did you see that? The advertisement?
Oh, yeah, Race. I think it's called Race, yeah. Right.
And then the brother just did the movie, what's the brother that did the slavery movie recently? About Nat Turner. So,
I know yeah.
Right, so when these movies are coming out, young whites, like they did when Public Enemy was on the rise, young whites was getting it. And they were challenging mom and dad, challenging the status quo, challenging the establishment, challenging and speaking truth to power. And this is very weird. This gave birth to a different kind of white boy and white girl that came up and voted for Barack Obama. You understand what I'm saying? So something definitely is going on, Brother Rich, and I know you feel it because your finger is on the pulse of our people like mine is. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You feel something bubbling under. Almost like white people are going to have to respond. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In a way that may set us back 5 years because we got to catch back up. Because they're not going to keep tolerating the Kendrick Lamars and Beyoncé's and the rest. They're waiting for the next artist to step up and step out there to see who's going to be next. And I think if one more artist do it, it's going to be a trend now. Now it's going to change the vibratory frequency of how you got to come out as an artist. And I remember back in the day, there was so much damn pressure that Public Enemy and Brand Nubian and Poor Righteous Teacher was putting on people, and Queen Latifah and other KRS-One, we were putting on other artists. You better come on your album and say something black. You better do something. I don't give a damn if you're Arrested Development. You better dance like you black and do something. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's putting people's feet to the fire.
I just got one more question for you, Professor Griff.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to read, there's this article, let me see, where's this from? Well, the name of the article is called, I don't know the publication, I just seen it on my phone. It's called America is Obsessed with Identity. Thanks, Obama. Let me read it, then I'm going to ask you a question. The Obama's family tenure in the White House has overlapped a revolution in the way Americans deal with identity. From race to religion, from gender to sexual orientation and beyond, marginalized groups that historically worked and waited for a seat at the table increasingly demanded their share of cultural power. The people who once assumed that they could define what it means to be American were called on to defend their ideas and check their privileges. Conversations that were once whispered behind closed doors broke out in the open in the halls of Congress, college campuses, and on streets, in city streets, and hashtag Twitter chats, and in Facebook threads. Would we be having these conversations regardless of who took the oath on January 20th, 2009, or did the president election of a black guy from the south side of Chicago with a funny name that nobody can pronounce, as Obama has jokingly referred to himself, strike this match? With that being said, and that's from somebody by the name, a female by the name of Alicia Montgomery. With that being said, Professor Griff, I remember when Obama first took office, one of the many things that some blacks said was that, politically Obama ain't going to do shit, but symbolically it's a sign of victory for black people. I remember several teachers saying that about 8 years ago. You just said in your last answer to my question, one of the things you said was changing vibratory frequency, the changing of the vibratory frequency. Do you feel, Professor Griff, that did Obama accomplish his mission to be that symbolic change, or that to change the vibratory frequency just through symbology, not through politics, not through anything he did signing the papers or standing next to this one or that one, but symbolically, did he succeed in changing the vibratory frequency, Professor Griff?
Consciously and subconsciously determined, yes, he did just that. If he never uttered a word, he's accomplished that thing unknowingly, yes. By walking out, holding his wife's hand with his two beautiful children, yes, he's accomplished that. The whole idea of the black man walking out of the White House, he's accomplished that. The black man taking control and charge and being the commander-in-chief of the most powerful nation on the face of the earth, yes, he's accomplished that. He's done that on so many different levels without uttering a word, and we have to give that back to him. He's accomplished that. And there's no other answer to your question, Brother Rich. He's done that, because when people see that, it's like, okay. Now to you and I, that's not the end-all to be-all. But to the average person, it's like, wow, we made it. Now, from this point forward, what do we do? You understand what I'm saying? Right. Imagery alone, Brother Rich, it speaks volumes, but it also speaks fear into the hearts of white people that when Barack Obama became president, what did they go out and do, Brother Rich?
Buy guns.
Buy guns. They went out and bought guns. You see, we reacted one way, but
yeah,
sticking our chest out and being proud once again to be black people, to be African Americans, whatever people call themselves nowadays. But white people, like, whoa, hold up. They went to the gun shows, man, and stocked up on bullets and ammunition and underground bunkers and and the preppers went up building tunnels and all kind of stuff, man, and stocking food and buying guns. So it's totally different reaction to symbology, to a sign, to a symbol, to the thought of the blackening of America, so to speak, because all during school, white children and black children are taught, you too could become president. All you have to do is work hard and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. A black, so-called black man, African-American, becomes president of the United States, and now Johnny has to go home and face the white mother and the white father. And what do you think the parents are saying to Johnny now? Mom, Dad, are black people now smarter enough because now they're the president? How are you going to answer that question? Because before we wasn't intelligent enough to do certain jobs. We weren't intelligent enough to be quarterbacks, right? We weren't intelligent enough to be engineers. We weren't intelligent enough to be teachers. We definitely weren't intelligent enough to be the president of the United States of America. So now that we are, what do you think the conversation is going on now at the dinner table in the average white home? That dynamic of that particular conversation has changed drastically. So to speak to Alicia Montgomery's article that you just read parts of it, of course, when Barack Obama won the presidency in 2008, there were a lot of talk about this quote-unquote Obama effect and how the nation's quote-unquote first black president signaled a new era of racial harmony. I don't know if it did all of that. That white chick of one of the clips that you and I, that you shared with me. What's her name? Tommy Lauren?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And she was going up and going up against Charlamagne the God.
Right. I forgot to bring that up. Right.
Right. Handle her, man, and handle it beautifully. It's one thing that he kind of left out because she was trying to come at him. Well, Charlamagne, listen, the Black Panthers were a terrorist organization. No, the hell they weren't. They weren't using that language back then.
That was crazy for her to keep saying that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly what she tried to do. She was doing double talk, double speak. She say it, put it out there, and if he don't defend that and stop and check that before he moves on, that's just left out there for anyone to believe. So he came back and asked her the question, like, wait a minute. The KKK is a murderous terrorist organization that's famous for killing black men, women, and children. When has the Black Panther Party ever went out and killed police and went after young white kids and shot them down and did whatever? Name somebody that the Black Panther Party killed. She couldn't answer the question. But he should have stuck with that because she kept coming back talking about the Black Panther Party is a terrorist organization. No, that's not the reason why they had guns. They had guns because they was about self-defense. They was about self-defense before they started carrying guns. I remember brothers coming through the Black Panther Party and sitting me down and telling me them stories about how they had martial arts classes every weekend, along with the breakfast program and the other things that they do, political education classes. So Charlamagne the God handled himself with this white woman, and he should be commended for that. But I wish he would have really went in. I know he got a job. He's trying to protect his little position at the station. You understand what I'm saying? That couldn't have been me, Brother Rich. You understand what I'm saying? No, she was offended by somebody calling her a racist cracker. Well, cracker, you are a racist goddamn cracker. Lying on TV. You didn't think anybody was going to check your ass. That's what it was. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't think anybody was going to say anything. But guess who came at her hard? Real hard. Who? Real hard. You ever watch The Young Turks?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, they got big, yeah.
God, they came at this white woman real hard.
Wow, I gotta see that.
What the hell is she even talk about? We keep pulling off the proverbial Band-Aid, and we won't let the healing continue. What goddamn healing? America saw some damn healing. And what wounds is she talking about? The recent wounds or the old ones?
Right.
Where the hell has she been? And you got to understand something, though, Brother Rich. That is the young white that Donald Trump is talking to. That is the one that Glenn Beck allowed to come into the studio and spew this madness. She's 23, white, blonde. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she probably don't want a black boyfriend, but she want to be able to go up against the brute black beast from D.W. Griffin's Birth of a Nation, and she chose to pick on Charlemagne the God. But I think that day she chose the wrong brother because he handled her ass. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He handled it very, very, very well and checked it. So now I think Donald Trump is going to go back and kind of revamp some things simply because of those kind of interactions. Other young black people are saying, wait a minute, we need to start standing up for ourselves. She kept coming at the Black Lives Matter movement and kept holding the entire Black Lives Matter movement, a few of them responsible for what the vast majority of them have never, ever, ever have done. These crackers came and opened fire on the Black Lives Matter movement. I forget what city it was in. I mean, just straight up open fire. Black Lives Matter never responded with gunfire or gunplay. Now did they? But yet, young whites are calling it a terrorist organization, and we're calling for the retaliation against police. Stop that, man. Listen, look at that dynamic. Black Lives Matter, quote unquote, supposedly started by a couple of dykes, lesbians, or gay people, or whoever the hell else, financed by George Soros, right? And then it morphed into gay lives matter, all lives matter, the ants' life matter, air matters, everything matters now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Weakened it, and then now the narrative is white women are coming on the internet, social media, saying to Charlemagne the God that Black Lives Matter are calling for people to attack police. Stop that. Trying to exacerbate the tensions yet again and polarize both black and white to keep the same narrative going on and on and on and on. But some whites are not going for it, and young blacks are getting wise and hip to it, and they're not going for it either, Brother Rich.
And she kept misnaming it Black Lives Matter More, as if that's the real name. You know, purposely, like you said, double talking or whatever. So yeah, I'm glad you brought
double speaking.
Yeah, double speaking.
Yeah. Brother Rich, while I was listening to that, after you sent it to me, I went online, and yet again, I said to myself, okay, let me go back and see some of the protests, and let me just read some of the signs that people are holding up. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if you really look, it says it all. Sometimes you see a white person holding a sign that may say something very pro-black. You understand? Or you might see a black person holding up a sign that says, something very critical. But nonetheless, I think the fear of it is, yet again, Dr. Francis Cresswell was correct. It's fear of genetic annihilation, because if everyone got together, as we've often said, they would lose. Back in the day, we had signs like, every nigga is a potential black man, Kwame Ture. You understand? Black power, black this and black that, and, every once in a while, at one of the more radical rallies, you say, down with whitey. You understand what I'm saying? Something crazy like that. But nonetheless, you had white organizations. I forget the name of the white organization that was bombing buildings. Them rich white kids that rebelled against their parents and started making bombs and whatnot and killing white people and shooting white people and all this kind of stuff, responding to the government. You understand what I'm saying? It's very, 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 very real. It was going down on these college campuses, man. But now it's spilled off into the streets, and now the young sisters that put together the Black Lives Matter movement gave a physical, how should I say it, gave a physical form so to speak, and gave it a name and made it real to the point where the average sister in college, or just wanted something to say, would never have joined the new Black Panther Party, would never have joined the Hebrew Israelites or the Nation of Islam. But now they're speaking up and they're speaking out, Brother Rich.
Excellent point.
So see, Biko was right. The most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the minds of the oppressed. But what happens now when you stop thinking like a victim and you start acting like, you about to move some things? I don't care if it's you moving the whole concept of Black Lives Matter or you moving to pimp a butterfly. You understand what I'm saying? Or you getting information to get information. Nonetheless, it's moving, Brother Rich.
Indeed. Yeah. I guess on that note, Professor Griff, as always, leave the people your contact info, lectures coming up, any information they need, let the people know what's going on.
Oh, Griff, thanks, man. Of course, y'all can check me out every Tuesday on www.blogtalkradio.com/Serious Mind. 8 o'clock every Tuesday. And, of course, the Alchemical Cipher is coming up in March. The Alchemical Cipher is going to be on Thursdays at 8 o'clock. All right, for 2 hours we're going to sit, we're going to study, we're going to go over some of these books that we need to take off the shelf and some of these documents we need to take off the shelf. Blow the dust off them, go in. My phone number is 678-557-2919. If you'd like to reach me, once again, 678-557-2919. Check me out on Twitter at Serious Mind, Instagram at Serious Mind, Facebook, Serious Mind, and Enemy Mind on Facebook. If you want to email me, all right, you can hit me up at seriousmindinfo@gmail.com. Once again, Brother Rich, I really appreciate you. I got a few calls from a few brothers approached me about getting the information into the prison. Now, did you see that there was a prison scandal with the cell phones in Georgia?
No, I didn't hear about that. No.
Yeah, look it up, man. White people are getting hit to the fact that these guards now are taking payoffs, slipping phones in there, and they're getting the information, man. And I think a couple of brothers got politicized that way because, hell, they ain't got shit to do all day. The brothers are slipping in phones and they're going up on the internet, man, and getting messages. You understand what I'm saying? So It's real. I'm serious, real in the field, man. You understand what I'm saying? But I want to thank you once again, Brother Rich. And my words tonight I want to dedicate to Mr. R. Lorenzo Ridenhour, Chuck D's dad, who went to the wake today. And, yes, and shout out to Chuck D, Lisa, and Eric, and Mrs. R. But I'm standing there with Chuck, and me and Chuck basically said the same thing. We had that same spirit. I'd rather not see him laying in the casket, man. You understand what I'm saying? I want to remember Mr. R alive because we have to keep the spirit of that great man alive. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you. I want to thank you, Brother Rich, for having this platform that we can express ourselves and reach our people. And yet again, Brother Rich, people are telling me all the time, don't stop what you're doing, man, because it's reaching some people, brother. Seriously, it is.
Always glad to hear that. Rest in peace to Chuck D's dad. Much love to Chuck D. And I guess on that note, man, thanks for everybody watching. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. I finally reached that 100,000 mark.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. And we're going to just continue to do this thing, man. You've been down with me for over a year. I appreciate it. It's not easy coming week after week after week after week on here. So thanks for being so consistent with the work that we do on here, man. I definitely appreciate it. Once again, thanks to everybody. And we signing out, family. We're going to see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace, family. This is Brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figure since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for 1 billion, I can ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.